I remembered how to hit the go live button. And we are live. This is the first time I've said that in a while. Yes, after a long hiatus, don't worry. And I am joined here today by a man who apparently believes that Cooper Rush would have won. Luke, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for having me come back.
What's up, brother? I missed your shining face, my man.
It is pretty shiny.
I missed it. I understand Boston has a lead on you, but come on, my guy. I know the Bruins are good, and I know the Celtics are okay, but come on.
Yeah, I have just not had the energy or the time to do any shows. I'm working way too much. Money talks is just all I'll say. Money talks. It's got a weird convention talking too, doesn't
it? Can't wait to talk championship weekend.
Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, exactly. I guess I kind of came back at the perfect time because I mean it's conference championship weekend. So to start off, we got the Eagles and the Niners at 3:00. Which, all right. By the way, the 3:00 and 6:30 start times, I love.
Perfect.
Love the 3 and 6:30.
Yeah.
It's fucking. I love those start times. I can actually watch both the games.
Yeah.
And not have to be like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get 3 hours of sleep before work tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Canada, like they're in the Central time zone was perfect for football because when the 8:00 game was, well, technically 8:00 Eastern time, when the game's over, it's damn near 10, 11 o'clock. And it was only 8:00 when we started, when the game was over. So it was perfect.
Oh, yeah. I'm like
having these games at 6:30, at 3:30 and 6:30, it's like, boom, let's go. I still got a little bit of time.
Yeah, that whole like I think about that with the time zones. Those guys who are their football day starts at like our 1:00 games. It's fucking 10:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
10:00 in the morning, dude. You just all right.
Yeah,
football.
Go. Roll over, turn it on, and be vegetable till about 6:00 in the afternoon, evening.
And I mean, especially for me, dude. I wake up and you know what fucking time I woke up today, and I really want to sleep in today.
I'm gonna say 5:30.
Oh, I wish. 4:05. That's without setting an alarm. My body just woke myself up at quarter.
And that's
fucking
the worst. That's
yeah.
The worst.
So, like, dude, I really wish football games could start at 10:00 in the morning for me. I don't know what to do all day.
Right.
But anyway, this game, this is exactly the matchup that I wanted for the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
I love that it's the Eagles and the Niners.
Yep.
It's two teams that literally, I mean, it's like 75% of the game plan is just to hit the guy across from you.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what it looks like. I love that style of football. I think it's going to be fun to watch. This was a tough one for me to pick. I had to go back and forth on it because I mean they're two very similar teams, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I think what it's really going to come down to is can Brock Purdy be the guy? That's pretty much what that game's going to come down to.
So what ended up kind of deciding usually in these situations, I go by who's got the experience, right?
Yep.
And I'd say that the Niners, obviously, as a whole, their team has more playoff experience than the Eagles, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
But Brock Purdy is a rookie.
Yeah.
Didn't play an entire season.
Right.
Who was the last pick in the draft, and he's played well.
Yeah.
He's played very well. He's shown a lot of poise.
Yep.
He's obviously got a lot of talent around him, and he just all he has to do is not make mistakes, and he's doing that.
Yeah.
He's shown a lot of poise, and I give him credit for that. But this, I don't know. I got into a debate with someone the other day. They told me that it wasn't a long shot for San Francisco to win the Super Bowl because they couldn't believe that San Francisco is the biggest long shot to win the Super Bowl, like of all the teams listed.
Uh-huh.
Like they had the, best plus money.
Which, when you look at it, Patrick Mahomes, how many AFC title games has he been to? 4 straight?
Yeah, 5.
4 straight. 4 or 5 straight. Joe Burrow, this is now going to be his second straight AFC title game. So, I mean, they already have more experience. Yes, I understand Jalen. I don't think Jalen played in the playoff, did he?
No, he had.
I don't think he did. So he doesn't have any experience, and neither does Purdy. So I mean, where they have them, I understand why they're like that, but like it's probably a good reason.
Well, the guy said they have the number one defense in the playoffs. I don't understand how they can have be the biggest long shot. I said, well, they also the only team starting a rookie, and the last time I checked, no rookie quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl. I don't think a rookie quarterback has even started in a Super Bowl.
And let's face it, just because you have the number one defense doesn't, to me, it doesn't mean shit.
No, I don't think
anything. And now today, the slate's 0-0, start of the season.
Yep.
Whatever you want to call it.
You're absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
Everything that happened, like the other games, you can maybe say you can give your analysis on this is what we did all season, division round, wild card, maybe.
Yeah.
Conference championship. Nah, man, this is to go to the ship.
No,
this is different.
This is just, we go radio silent. No one talk to the media. No one say anything to the media. We're going to go out on Sunday and we're going to put our best foot forward, and that's all you can do.
I went back and forth on this, and I ended up having to go on my pick. So another reason I made this pick actually is I read something interesting the other day. It was something about playoff myths that Bill Belichick used to talk about to the team before the playoffs. And these two of the myths that I saw in there were that home field experience doesn't matter, and that experience doesn't matter. So we have the debate here that the Niners have more experience on the roster. The Eagles have home field, but no rookie quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl. I'm taking the Eagles in this. Only a 2.5 point spread. I might as well take the 2.5.
Yeah.
Probably a field goal game.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I see this. But I mean, the over here is about 40, 45, 45 and a half. I think I'd play. You might want to play the under on that. This is gonna be a fucking slugfest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm about 2.5 hours away from Philly, something like that. And it's
That's terrible.
Hole. It's a mud hole right now, at least in my area. It's not stopped raining. It has just been gray skies and a lot of rain the last few days. And a West Coast team coming to the East Coast, a late kickoff game, and a kid that's never really played in this type of game before. I really think this is going to be like a 24-21, 23-20 type of game where it's just going to come down to he's going to turn the ball over, a thing he hasn't done. He's going to turn the ball over today, and that's what's going to cost him. I have the Eagles.
We got Corey from Nonsense and Deep Thoughts. Hate admitting that Philly's great this year. Me too. I hate Philly. I feel the same about Brock. This is different. Yeah, this is just like you said, Luke. Eventually, this kid's gonna turn the fucking ball over, right? Like, I'm sorry. I know. I hate to be like the doom and gloom kind of guy, but like, eventually, he's gonna make a mistake.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not comparing the kid.
The situation is gonna come to him, right?
I mean, I'm not going to compare the kid to Josh Allen, right? But you can see what the elements do to people. Josh Allen could not complete a pass. He couldn't, and he's experienced. He has more experience than those two, and he couldn't complete the pass in the elements. I understand this kid has a lot of weapons around him. I get it. But I think special teams are going to come a huge factor today, too.
Well, I also think the Eagles' defense is good. People here, you're talking about the Niners' defense going on this game, but the Eagles' defense isn't exactly slouchy.
Their front seven is top 5, top 3 in the league.
Yeah,
it's getting the 49ers to medium to long range third downs and being able to pin your ears back. If you keep giving them 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, within 3 yards, that's where his legs come into play. He can make play.
I think the Eagles' front seven matches up better against San Francisco's offensive line than any other team in the playoffs.
But they have to get to him today. They have to get to the quarterback.
Yeah. At the same time,
secondary is not good.
Defensive front seven matches up with the Eagles' offensive line better than anyone else. The playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, these are the NFC team. Like, these are the 2 best teams in the
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So who's your pick?
I have the Eagles, like 23-20.
Yeah. It's like fest. I guess in Eagles, I gotta say, in Eagles Cowboys NFC Championship, I can see how it would have been fun for the atmosphere of like that rivalry in an NFC Championship. I can understand how the intensity would have been fun, like to see that stadium.
Yeah,
but no, this is the matchup that I wanted. Sorry, Ernest, if you're watching. This is what we wanted to see.
Yeah, and I think this is like I said. These are the 4 best teams the NFL has to offer.
Absolutely. This it's one of the these are the teams that should be there. Yeah, I don't think anyone got fucked. I know Buffalo fans. This is one of my new favorites of them. My new favorite trend of Buffalo fans is they complain about the weather every time they lose.
I don't even want to hear it. Like
every time that they complain about the wind when they lost to the Patriots last year. The wind game where we hand the ball off like 45 times.
Yeah.
They complained about the heat when they played Miami. And then this past week they complained about the snow in their own stadium.
You got your ass beat.
Because Cincinnati was wearing white uniforms, and that's an unfair advantage.
You got your asses beat. I don't care. I don't care if it wasn't snowing. You're losing that game. You can't run the ball. You don't have a better defense.
The defense isn't very good. And you know what?
You can tell they're missing Von Miller bad.
Oh yeah, but you know what? But Buffalo's not exactly gonna go away.
No.
But that window to win a championship.
Oh, it's
it closes quick.
I mean, this is 4 years in a row you're getting bounced. 4.
You're not only you're getting bounced, but you were in the AFC Championship game. Then you lost, and then you blew your game in the divisional round in 13 seconds. You could. I mean, sure, okay, you could have been back in the AFC Championship game last year, but you blew it. Your defense blew it. Then you basically got your ass kicked in the fucking divisional round.
I mean, at some point, somebody has to take responsibility. Like, it's been radio silent from Buffalo. I mean, there's not a peep out of that locker room about anything. I mean, at some point, somebody has to take responsibility, whether it's Sean McDermott, whether it's the offensive coordinator, whether it's the GM, the owner, whatever you want to say. You can't run the ball. Josh Allen's your best running back. I mean, you can't run the ball. You can't play defense. You're not going to win a championship. You're not.
No. And, I mean, listen, Stephon Diggs, good player, but he's going to be 30 next year.
Yeah.
And his contract goes up. He's like a $20 million cap hit next year. Maybe, I think more than that.
Well,
Josh Allen's contract, it all kicks in on the cap next year. So you're going to start losing room to work for adding players to this team. The Von Miller contract, I thought, was fucking stupid.
I mean, when you look, that division isn't getting easier.
Like, the AFC East, no.
It's not getting easier, Buffalo.
I mean, since you brought me there, I mean, Miami. I don't think Miami's exactly going away. I don't think Miami's a contender.
They're a healthy quarterback away from being a contender.
Yeah, but Miami give you a fight.
Yeah.
The Patriots, I still think the Patriots can give Buffalo a fight. I think the last week of the season, the Patriots beat Buffalo if they don't give up 2 kick return touchdowns in one game.
Yeah.
So, and now, I mean, the Patriots next year with a real offensive coordinator and some new additions to the coaching staff, they're probably a little bit better of a team with a better offense, right? I mean, they had one of the best defenses in the league and one of the worst offenses in the league. You know, it's not like New England's not getting worse, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean, the Jets are in the hunt for Aaron Rodgers. So I mean, you need to tell me like.
So, I'd rule out the Jets. I understand.
I understand, but like, they're at least making moves. You're not making any moves.
All right, that's fair. They're at least making moves that will then blow up in their face because they're the New York Jets.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're not a bad football team either.
And you know what? They're actually not. It was just this year was a very Jets season because it was like, all right, we got a team, we got a good little team here, we got a good defense. Actually, that's a tough defense.
It is.
The Jets defense is good. I like what Salah's done on defense over there. But then at the same time, they're like, but our number 2 overall draft pick quarterback sucks and is full of himself.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, I digress. That whole division is a good division. So like your time is like the next 2 years, and you're strapped with the cap. Strapped.
And it's meanwhile, I mean, Cincinnati not going away either.
They got a monster.
Cincinnati, I think Cincinnati's going to keep getting better. Kansas City ain't going away, obviously. I mean, the Broncos could be better next year. There are a lot of teams in the AFC that could be better next year. Well, Buffalo's got to make moves that I don't think they can afford to make.
And that's what I'm saying, because we were talking about it on ITL, and I'm like, the first call I'm making is to Arizona. But then I'm like, Ernest tells me, he's like, they're strapped for the cap. And I look, and I'm like, God, I don't even think they could afford a vet minimum contract for anybody. Like,
no.
Golly, I was like, make a call to Arizona, see if you can get D-Hop. I was like, make a call to the Giants, see if you can turn around Saquon or Kareem Hunt from the Browns. Like, you need something. And I keep looking at the cap, and I'm like, you can't afford what you have now.
I mean, I got before we actually talk about the game that we're supposed to be talking about right now, you got me all distracted. I want to look at Josh Allen and Von Miller's contracts. $6 year, $258 million. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
What did I do wrong, Luke? Where did I go wrong?
Honestly, every time I think about it, I should have started golfing when I was way younger. Like, I started golfing.
Okay, so Josh Allen's cap hit this year was $16 million.
Yeah. And we're probably going to triple that.
Next year, it will only be about $39 million. And don't worry.
Doubled it up.
Don't worry, because in 2025, it will only be $51 million.
I mean, you're talking already a $16 million increase for a year.
Yep. So, and I mean, not for nothing. He's already 25. And look at the way he plays. You think at 30, he's going to be the same player with the way that he's playing?
If they don't change that offense now, no. Because he ain't going to have an arm. He ain't going to have an arm or he ain't going to have a knee. One of the two.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to fucking move. He's getting hit constantly. He's the running back. Yeah. All right. So, Von Miller this year, again at 34, was $18 million. Next year he's $21 million. But he signed through 2027. In 2027, he's a $30 million cap hit. Yeah. He's 34.
I mean, you're
he's
serious. You're talking $60 million 2 years between two players.
Yep, and then so let's go to Stephon Diggs' contract, which again, very good player, but when a wide receiver hits 30, they usually start going downhill. That's just the facts of the situation.
Yeah.
Of course, now my phone doesn't want to let me pull that up. Come on, open the fucking thing. All right, next year, his cap goes up to it was $11 million this year. Next year it's 20. In 2024 it's 26.
Okay, so you're still talking for like $55 million between two players.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, you want to add a running back to that offense? More than half your cap is going to Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Von Miller.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
You got anyway, 50 other spots.
Yeah, you get a little bit to do on the defense there too.
Yeah, because I mean, you're probably losing Tremaine Edmonds. You're probably losing Tre'Davious White.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, don't you gotta pay
Matt Milano? Like, you're gonna be losing pieces.
Anyway, so this game, all right, first of all, Kansas City's great. I can't stand Kansas City. Can't stand the way they're covered by the media. I can't stand their fans half the time. So I'm rooting against them.
Yeah.
The Bengals are easy to root for me, probably not for you.
I hate it. Yeah, I hate it. But
yeah, I guess it's a little different. Like, I don't have a reason to not like the Bengals because they're not in my division or anything. They've just always been a bad team.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, to me, fucking good for the Cincinnati fans. Like, I almost feel like they deserve it. I'm sure you don't think that.
You know, last year it was a Cinderella story. Now it's expected, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Listen, man. Yeah, I think you gotta give a lot of credit to the coach. I think obviously Zach Taylor's done a good job. But Joe Burrow, uh, listen, any of this talk about, oh, he's getting overhyped? Nah.
I it,
The,
I gave credit where credit was due on Thursday. I was just straight up. They sucked for 5 years. They went through hell. They did. I give them credit. They stuck through it, and now they're going back to back AFC title games and possibly back to back Super Bowls. I mean, for that organization, for that team, Joe Burrow was the correct pick, no matter what.
dude,
Don't care what it
if,
is. Don't care what you want to say. He
how,
was what Cincinnati needed.
how many times have we ever actually, like, it sounds like, you draft the guy number one overall, and then Cinderella, he brings you to the beat a contender. You're in the Super Bowl, back to back to AFC title games. You feel like that's what's supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
How many times has that ever actually fucking happened?
Just Brock Purdy.
Like this, I just love that for Cincinnati. And like Burrow, I mean, listen, the kid. You want to give credit to the receivers? Yeah, sure. He's got some fucking receivers, but I mean, this kid won a championship in college.
Yep.
He took the Cincinnati fucking Bengals to the Super Bowl. And now he's back in his second AFC title game. This kid's a fucking winner.
Yeah.
He wins.
He's got the grit, he's got the guts, he's got the moxie, whatever you want to say, whatever cliche you want to throw at him, like the kid don't blink.
No, he doesn't blink. The poise that he's got, the poise that he showed last week, he doesn't fucking panic. He looks methodical on offense. And now, as amazing as Patrick Mahomes is, a lot of the times that offense doesn't really look methodical because he's like running around and then making like some crazy throw. Whereas, like, I don't know, to me, maybe I'm just a simple guy, but I think it's better. It looks cooler to me when the whole offense just looks in sync and they just go. It just clicks.
I mean, you could just tell you could just tell that the communication between Burrow and Taylor is just unspoken. They look at each other. Absolutely. He calls it. You get in the huddle, call it, and everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's
the connection you need. That's a huge connection.
Yep. That's why I say you got to say Zach Taylor is a good coach because obviously Burrow's a talented guy, but he got right on the same page with his quarterback. Listen to Jamar Chase fucking pick.
I mean, I trashed the pick. I did. I'll admit it. I did. I trashed the pick. I thought they should have went Penei Sewell. Like they needed to fix that offensive line. But
my exact words were drafting Jamar Chase. I think this is pretty much exactly what I said. Is a luxury that you can't afford when you're drafting 6 overall.
Yeah.
Because obviously you have more needs in wide receiver if you're drafting 6 overall.
Yep.
It worked. I mean, look, there's some of the moves they've made on defense. The defense is underrated, I think.
Yeah. Trey Hendricks is a great defensive end. Sam Hubbard, great Ohio-born, great defensive end. Mike Hilton has been huge in that secondary.
Mike Hilton, a great signing.
He was a great signing coming over from the Steelers. I hate to lose him, but he was a great sign for them. He calmed that secondary down. You know, they're not perfect. I mean, Eli Apple's still a corner. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, Eli Apple's still a thing.
But, like, that front seven gets after you constantly. And it's not even the first 4 linemen. It's the next 4. And then it's the next linebacker. They just keep coming after you in waves. And it just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Their motors are always going. And I think that's a credit to Zach Taylor. And I always struggle with his name because I always get him confused with Lou Amarillo, but it's not Lou Amarillo. It's Amaruo or something like that. It's close. But that defense coordinator is good too. And It's consistency is what the Bengals have accomplished these last 2 years. They're great on defense. They have a great 1-2 punch with Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon. When healthy, they're both. That's probably one of the best tandems in the league. And when the
Yep.
offensive line is clicking, they're great. Obviously, it can't be understood, that T. Higgins is a great number 2. Jamar Chase is a legitimate number 1. T. Higgins is a number 2. Tyler Boyd he's probably a number 2 on most teams. Tyler Boyd is.
Yep.
If they still had that tight end that went to the Jets, I think they would be more formidable. But the guy from Baltimore is pretty good too, Hayden Hurst.
Yep.
He's a pretty good tight end as well. So I think preaching the consistency has really helped the Cincinnati Bengals team reach that next level.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, Kansas City is great. I wasn't one of them. I didn't think they'd fall off that hard after losing Tyreek Hill. I was one of the people who thought that they had enough talent at the quarterback, tight end position, and at the head coach to kind of make it work on offense, and they did.
I mean, Pat Mahomes broke his records this year, so I mean, it's
yeah,
not like it's not like they fell off.
Mahomes is great. And that team, fucking, again, good for Kansas City. They were a laughingstock for a while, and they fucking now this whole Arrowhead Invitational thing is a little corny. But yeah, I mean, dude, good for them.
But I would say that though, you've dropped multiple games there, so I'm like, it's not like a complete invitational anymore. Like you dropped games at home.
Yeah, I mean, you inviting teams to beat you there.
Like that's. I mean, you're gonna have Joe Cool come in there now again, 2 years in a row. Like,
Joe Burr, kid.
Like, this one was tough for me just because if it's a healthy Patrick Mahomes, it's a different story with me. I think that they wouldn't. I don't think they could lose to Cincinnati again, back to back at home. Under Patrick Mahomes. That's a tough ask for that Cincinnati Bengals team. But Mahomes is hobbled, to say the least. And that just bodes well for that Cincinnati Bengals team. I mean, last year, they used the defensive end as a shadow on him. And now, I don't even think they're going to have to shadow Patrick Mahomes. The dude can't move. Like, he's had the best doctors, the best... The best doctors, the best pain meds, the best wrap jobs all week. And I'm telling you, man, this front 4, I don't even think they have to send 5 or 6. I think this front 4 is good enough just to get to Pat by themselves, as long as they stay in their lane.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals in this.
Yeah.
Myself. I thought the Bengals were the team to beat in the AFC coming into this season, for the obvious reason that they were the team that came out of the AFC.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything to get worse.
Yeah.
And they didn't get worse. I think the Bengals are the best team in the AFC. I've thought that since about halfway through the season. They just kept picking it up. They got better as it went. I'm taking Cincinnati here on the money line. It's plus money. The over is 48. And I would hit that before that starts going up.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty damn good number by Vegas there.
I think it's pretty generous.
I mean, because I think it's going to be like a 27-21 type of game. Like, it's
one of these teams scores more than 24 points.
Yeah. I think whoever wins by 6. I think.
Yeah,
but
and
I think the Bengals have the better run game, the better defense right now. They just do.
Yep. Then both teams go over 20 points easily.
Yeah.
No, it's no question. But anyway, that is, I think, all we got for you today, folks. This has been the return of the general. I think that sounds better than Return of the King. I don't know.
We'll table that for next time.
Yeah. I mean, it's not better than Return of the Jedi, but
yeah, no.
Like, Return of the General might not win as many Oscars as Return of the King, but
I'll give you one.
It's still,
I'll give you
best director.
Yeah,
definitely not best editing.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Sure to get your picks in. I will probably be back on next week, but I will at least be back for Super Bowl Sunday. I will make sure that I do an episode, even if it's not at 12 o'clock. I'll make sure there is a Super Bowl Sunday episode. Luke, thanks for joining me. Why don't you tell the folks where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at King of Hearts 82. Obviously, Steelers season's over, and it's full on Penguin season now. So they're kind of struggle. They're in the struggle boat right now, but it's about to be March of the Penguins, and you know how that goes. You know how we are in March. So you can find me on Twitter, King of Hearts 82. Basketball season is pretty much in full force, so I will be disappearing into the hiatus until draft time. So thanks for having me on, Steve. Obviously, Pro Bowl's next week. I'm not going to talk about the Pro Bowl because no one wants to talk about the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah. So that's, by the way, I even if I do, assuming I do have an episode next week, I'm not going to talk about the Pro Bowl.
Not going to talk about the Pro Bowl.
Don't care about it.
And then, as far as I know, I want to try to get together and bring the Blue Collar Cantina back, talk some Quantum Mania, because that's by the time I get back from my cruise. Quantum Mania will be out, so I definitely want to see that when I get back.
The Blue Collar Cantina crew does need to get back together for Ant-Man and the Wasp. That is...
Yep. We want to see Quantum Mania, and then obviously The Mandalorian Season 3 starts March 1st, so we got a lot to talk about. Yeah,
so actually, let's put him on the spot now. Mark Guajardo, I think that's how we say his name. If you're watching, if you're watching, the Blue Collar Cantina is coming back. Me and Luke are telling you right now.
Yep, got to
for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
Got to.
Before fucking Jonathan Majors kills Scott Lang in front of all of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. Enjoy Championship Sunday.